I actually can't believe it's on air. You know, we come off there. Like, we had Keir Starmer on cooking salmon.
We are joined by the wonderful Mr. Simon Rimmer is with us this morning. Good morning, Simon.
Good morning. What a lovely intro. I've got to say, I'm looking and learning. That link then was fantastic.
Wasn't it good, Simon?
Yeah. Wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
Really, really.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Simon.
He knows his onions, doesn't he?
Have you ever done radio in the past, Simon? I feel like you must have done at some point.
Yeah, but do you know what? I love radio. I was saying to you just before we came on, I always think that Sunday Brunch, in many respects, has more in common with a radio show than a TV show a lot of the time.
Yes.
Because it's quite laid back. It's a little bit off the cuff. And we forget sometimes that people can see us.
Yeah.
Well, that shows sometimes in the clothes that Tim Lovejoy wears.
Oh!
He's not here to defend himself, so it's
I like
fine.
his new big glasses, by the way. Do you?
Yeah, you
Tim's glasses are huge, aren't they? He came in about a month ago and was wearing them. They look excellent.
Yeah.
They suit him.
You've got some hefty glasses on yourself, Simon, as well.
Yeah, well, you know, this is the thing I was saying to Tim, because we both sort of started going, you know, losing our ability to see about the same time.
Yeah.
I'm just a little few steps behind him, but we've got the same glasses. So basically, Tim started off when we worked together with hair. He's now got no hair, and neither have I. Now he's got the same glasses as me, so there'll come a point when I need to wear glasses on there too. We're just going to look like the two Ronnies.
Is that the stress of working with you that Tim? Because he turned up with a lovely head of hair.
He had lovely hair.
Yeah.
If you want a really good, fun thing to look at, and Tim loves it, there's great pictures online when he used to have dreadlocks. When he was really young.
Really?
Honestly, he was a good-looking boy. He looks like he should have been in Milli Vanilli.
Right, yes. Wow.
I'm going to go and Google that immediately. Yeah, I'm sure Tim will appreciate you bringing that to the wider public. Now, we'll talk about Sunday Brunch in more detail a bit later on. But you're here because you are Movembering. I can see you've got the Movember T-shirt on.
Yes.
So I'm sure by now everybody is aware of what Movember is. We were chatting off air earlier. We were saying it's been going for 21 years, but I think probably about just over 10 years ago, it started to really gain momentum and a few high profile.
It seems every year it's just getting bigger and bigger, doesn't it?
Completely. And it's a really lovely idea as well, because, I mean, if you don't know what it actually raises awareness for, it raises awareness and funds for men's mental health, including suicide prevention, also prostate and testicular cancer, which 45% of the UK have been affected by. So it's a really wonderful message that it gets across and really great awareness that it raises. But also, loads of people walk around stupid with a moustache for a month. So everyone's a winner, really. So Simon, so talk to me. So how did this first come about?
So I've sort of, done the kind of moustache growing thing myself, and then this year they asked me if I'd be up for being one of the ambassadors for this year. And like you eloquently said at the start, that what it covers, that this mental health, prostate cancer, testicular cancer, the three sort of main areas, and men's general health and well-being. And it's a really, really great charity. And you're right, in the last 10 years, it feels like it's really, really exploded. So I think it's about just raising that awareness. And I think what the big change that they're really noticing is quite a lot of blokes say, I'd like to get involved, but I can't grow a tash. And then women obviously say, well, I don't actually grow a tash. And it's weird that, the starting point now has become so much bigger that that's almost irrelevant, really. You don't have to grow a tash. You don't have to be able to grow a tash. It's about getting involved and raising funds and raising awareness for it. And what I'm going to, because I'm always like you, Chip, I'm always like, I've always got a bit of facial hair. So what I'm going to do, what I'm aiming for, I'm going to keep this really, really tightly shaved, my beard, and I'm going to let the tash grow over the course of a month. And my mates at Barber, the sort of the national barber chain, they're going to kind of, every week I'm going to get done. So I'm hoping by the end of it, I'm going for sort of long-haired hamster, I'm thinking. That's kind of the look I'm going to go for.
What's going to be lovely for viewers of Sunday Brunch is we'll get a weekly update.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we won't see you from Monday to Saturday, and then you'll turn up on Sunday and it will be getting progressively better. So are you going to, because I was thinking, there's different ways of doing it. So some people go clean-shaven on the 1st of November. Now, are you going to do that?
No, it's a long time since I've been clean-shaven. I don't think I want to see that. So, no, I am going to have my beard trimmed right the way back, closer than I normally do, but not touch the tash. And then watch around every week. As I say, the guys at Barber, they're going to trim it right back for me, keep the tash and keep it looking good. And then by the end of the month, I might end up keeping it. Because don't you think tashes have come back into fashion a little bit?
Hugely.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at the Australian cricket team. I mean, every single Australian cricketer's got a tash now. Yeah, well, it's funny because I was thinking about this because a couple of things you mentioned there. First of all, I accidentally did the classic about a year ago where I was trimming my beard and I've done the thing where I've not put the guard back on and I've shaved straight up the middle and I've I haven't had not a beard for about 15 years. Yeah. And I hated it clean shaved. My wife couldn't look at me. To be fair, she wasn't looking at me with the beard either. But we've been married a couple of years now. You know how it gets. But then part of me is like, it's a great excuse to grow a tash and find out if you like it. Yeah. Because you can, if you look ridiculous, you can say it's for charity, but if you like it, you can keep it. You might be rocking a tash in December, Simon.
This is it. Well, the thing is, I actually started growing my facial because Tim and I had a competition on the show who could grow the best beard in a month. And I've never gone clean shaven from then. That's probably about the same as you, about 15 years ago. So I don't know, but I am looking forward to it. But I think the thing with it is, obviously it's about raising funds. Growing the tashes is the fun bit of it. Yeah. And people worry, I think, with fundraising, I've got to do something, I've got to walk up Kilimanjaro backwards while shaving kind of thing. But you don't, it can be anything. A mate of mine, for example, he's decided what he's going to do. He's going to grow a tash. And all he's going to do is going to reward himself not shaving by putting £1 in a jar every day. So at the end of the month, he raises 30 quid. 30 quid, if 100 people do that, it's that whole thing. It doesn't have to be massive. It doesn't have to be huge. It's about saying, OK, let's raise funds, let's raise awareness and just put money in the coffers. So research and charity and care workers, all that kind of stuff can happen, which, at the end of the day, it is a brilliant, brilliant charity.
Yeah, it's so true. And do you know what? Because obviously there'll be lots of guys listening to this right now and I'm one of these. Every year, Movember rolls round, and I go, I should do Movember this year. And then I get to about November 5th, and I go, too late. I'll do it next year. And I've been doing that for about 10 years now. So there'll be lots of guys listening right now. Do it this year. Do it. And like Simon says, you don't have to raise, 10 million quid. Be great if you do. Exactly. We'll take it. But even if you do what Simon's mate did and just put £1 in a jar every day, you don't shave and raise 30 quid. If everybody had that mentality, we'd raise an absolute fortune. I mean, those things I listed earlier on, suicide prevention, cause, though, isn't it? Prostate and testicular cancer. For men in particular, I mean, those are the two real killers, let's be honest. Those are the two most dangerous killers of men, certainly of a younger age.
13 men a day commit suicide. Mad. In the UK. That's a terrifying statistic. It is. Yeah. 3 out of 4 of all suicides in the UK are male. Yeah. It is quite frightening. I think, probably all of us would say the same thing. We're rubbish at actually letting go and expressing our feelings. Yeah. And I think that is a real thing. I know I am. And I sort of think in my mind I'm better than I used to be, but I know I bottle things up all the time. Yeah, completely. Oh, there's the stats are too alarming to be a coincidence, aren't they? That men are just notoriously terrible at talking about things, of dealing with things like that, not bottling them up. We try and be stiff upper lip and strong and all of that, and we're very bad at. I listen to my wife sometimes on the phone of her friends, and they're talking about everything, and it's a stereotype, women, gossiping, whatever. But I'm like, God, me and my mates don't talk like that. No. About the real stuff that's on our minds. No. We talk about football and do you want to go to the pub? We ignore it. It's a cliche, but it's a cliche because it is true. Exactly that. It still works like that, doesn't it? So it's a really wonderful idea, and it's so great that you're getting involved, Simon, especially as it's going to be quite apparent on your face on Sunday brunch every Sunday. So it's I am excited by that. I'm genuinely excited by what it's going to look like at the end, because I can grow beard. I can do beard and tash pretty well. And so coming back to something that you did just say, Joe, but every year, and I think I've done the same thing, you get to November the 5th, you go, I'll do it next year. If you don't get started till November the 5th, it doesn't matter. Yeah. If you do it for 10 days, if you just getting involved. If you think, I've done nothing for it, it's the 28th of November, and you think, what, I'll put a donation, do it. You can do it all online. Instead, it's uk.movember.com is the website for it. Yeah, it's a very good point. Because there'll be people that, if you get to November 5th, it's still really useful if you're raising awareness and raising funds for the charity. Absolutely. Now, we've all done this. If anyone that can grow a beard, when you are shaving, you have a bit of a play on the way down. So as you're shaving, you check out, what would it look like if I had a handlebar moustache? Well, mutton chops as you're shaving, right? Have you got any idea if it's going to look any good? I think, so, because what I'm thinking is, I think I'm going to go sort of mix between 70s footballer and Australian cricket, as you mentioned before, and probably 70s adult movie star. I think that's
Oh, yes. Guten Tag.
yeah. I think that's what I'm going to go for. Or slightly dodgy cowboy. I think that's where I'm going. I'm not going to go for sophisticated handlebar moustache. I'm going to go dirty end.
Yeah, right. That's one of my favourite films from the 70s, actually. Funny enough. I think that if I grow it, because it's a little bit rouge as well.
Right.
I'm worried I will look a little bit like Creepy Detective.
Do you think?
A detective who doesn't quite play by the rules.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I like Maverick.
It does things his own way.
That's it.
Doesn't do things by the book.
Rips up the rule book.
Yeah, rips up the rule book, but he gets results.
That's it.
You've thought about that way too deeply.
For years.
You created that character in your head for many, many years.
That rolled off the tongue, didn't it?
Yes, didn't it?
I'm sure you're aware of the Movember campaign, but if you're not, it raises awareness and funds for men's mental health, including suicide prevention, prostate and testicular cancer as well, which 45% of the UK have been affected by. So, yes, we get to laugh at Simon's silly face for the next month, but it's also for a very important cause. And I'm very much looking forward to tracking the progress every Sunday on Sunday Brunch. I have to say, Simon, I was talking about this a few moments ago before you joined us on air. I was saying, Sunday Brunch, I love it. I put it on every Sunday. I'm in my dressing gown with a coffee. And I mean this with all the love and respect in the world. It sort of shouldn't be as brilliant as it is.
Bless you. I'll take that. It is weird, isn't it? You know, we've been on air for 17 years. Well, 6 on the Beeb and then 11 as Sunday Brunch. And it's kind of... I actually can't believe it's on air. You know, we come off there. I really can't. In a very nice way, because we come off and it is just a proper laugh. It's like this. Your show is very similar, you know, or Radio X is very similar. The fact it's very laid back. It doesn't take itself very seriously. And we are just very lucky that we get amazing guests doing stupid things. You know, we had Keir Starmer on cooking salmon. How can the Prime Minister be on cooking salmon? And we talked to him about VAR and the fact that he's an Arsenal fan. You think that's kind of, I think in a nutshell, that's kind of what we are. But thank you. I mean, I do think it's brilliant. I think it's kind of, I don't think it would work on any other day but a Sunday. That's the truth of it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you're in your dressing gown. You think, I'm a bit hungover. I don't know what I'm going to do today. I'll watch a bit of that. Oh, an hour's gone by.
Yeah.
I think on a Tuesday, and your average person has a proper life, is going, I've got to be at work. Will you lot get on with it and stop prattling around?
Yeah.
So I think there's a little bit that we fit into, you know, time and place work.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually, because it's exactly that. I was instinct, Sunday morning, wake up, chuck on Sunday Brunch, and before I know it, I'm watching Tom from Blossoms eat a jalfrezi. and I've been watching it for an hour and a half, and then you know, suddenly before I know it, it's midday, and I'm still in my dressing gown. I'm like, I've just completed Sunday Brunch for another day. Yeah. I've always said
passive scrolling. That's what we are, isn't it? Rather than scrolling on your phone, you just sit and we'll just scroll for you.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Just put content in my face, please. I'm hungover. I'm in my dressing gown. I've always said it's a self-aware one show.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's a self-aware one show. The one show is an insane show and they take themselves seriously. You recognise that it's an insane show and lean into it, which I think is why it's so enjoyable. Now, a couple of things I want to talk to you about as well. First of all, Simon, I don't know if you remember, I issued last time I saw you physically was at Pub in the Park this summer, I think.
Yeah.
And I issued you a grovelling apology after several beers because you are involved with the wonderful Albert Schloss bar and restaurant, which is my favourite night out in Liverpool. And if you've never been to it, there's a few now. There's one in London just opened as well.
Yeah, just up on Shaftesbury Avenue, which is cracking. Yeah,
great. It's brilliant. It's sort of Bavarian food, German food. So you get all your sauerkraut, your schnitzel, or pork knuckle, all these sorts of wonderful things. But on a Friday, Saturday night, they do brilliant live music with dancers.
It's live music every night.
Every night?
Every night in London. Yeah.
Oh, is it? It's such a great night. We've got to go. It's only around the corner from here. We've got to go.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a wonderful night. It's my favourite night out in Liverpool. And I don't know if you had any recollection of this, but you very kindly sorted me out a guest list for my birthday a couple of Octobers ago.
I do remember.
Yeah, and that is very kind of you. And I made sure that our mutual mate passed on a message saying thank him very much from me. Anyway, I went to the football. I had a few drinks. I went to Albert Schloss and I had a few drinks.
Right.
And they have dancers get up on the tables at Albert Schloss when the band are on.
Oh, no.
And I, as good as the dancers were, I felt I had something to contribute also. So I got up on the table and decided that, people need to see what I can throw down.
Sure.
And absolutely appropriately, your manager very politely asked me to leave the establishment.
Yeah.
And I went with no fuss. I said,
wow, not even just off the table, out of the door.
It was. I think it was when I got back on the table about the third time, Simon.
Yeah. That'll do.
Yeah. So I just want to issue a grovelling apology to your wonderful staff at Albert Schloss, Liverpool, and say I completely understand, and they were very polite about the whole thing. But please, can I come back?
Just let me check on the... Oh, no, sorry. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the band list, Toby.
Yeah, I've been blacklisted.
It's yeah, mate, of course you can. Basically, you can dance on the benches, but not on the tables.
Oh.
You see, that was a mistake you
free to
made.
dance on the benches.
The thing was, I don't think the audience was getting the full effect of my moves on the bench. I needed to get to higher ground.
Well, because you're in Liverpool on Saturday, aren't you? You go to the match on Saturday.
I am indeed.
Are you staying over?
I am staying over.
Well, I can say. Well, listen. Let's talk after we're
right. We'll talk afterwards. Here we go.
Benches time.
Yeah, I'm making a beeline for that bench, but I won't go any higher. I promise. Anyway, go to Albert Schloss. It's absolutely wonderful. Very quickly before we let you go as well, should we just talk about how excellent the other bald men in my life? I've got Dominic Byrne, I've got Simon Rimmer. The other bald man in my life is, of course, Mr. Arne Slot, the new Liverpool manager.
Isn't he beautiful? What a lovely man.
Don't you think he kind of he's almost the yin to Jurgen Klopp's yang kind of thing? That Klopp was like full force, full in your face, like big kind of character, and Slot's that kind of like we're doing all right. Yeah, we're second in the league. I've won, 11 out of 13 games. But and I just love the fact he just keeps it under exploding. I think he's brilliant. Yeah. I love him so far.
A thumbs up to the crowd every so often, isn't it? If we have a win, he just keeps it.
He's sort of calmly. He's an absolute perfectionist. He's never satisfied. He's after every win, he basically tells you what we could have done better.
Yeah.
Because that's the opposite of me. I mean, sometimes I really dial in this show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But believe it or not, this is one of the good ones.
Simon's had all the shows.
Should I tell you a great story and a name drop about Arne Slot?
Please do. Go on.
I've been part of LFC's Christmas retail campaign this year, and I was chatting to Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Oh, nice.
Clang.
Yeah, lovely.
So I said to Trent, what do you think? What do you think of him? And he said, right. He goes, so second week that we're there, he says to me in training, he goes, can I have a word after training, Trent? Trent goes, here we go. This is when I got told I'm a terrible defender, blah, 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 blah. And he goes, I've got a few video clips you should look at. He goes, here we go. Here's where Anthony Gordon's roasting me. Here's where such a body roasting me. And he said, he's got 50 clips of me in training. And he said, this is a really good position. If you turn your body 8 degrees to the right, you've got a better chance of making a strong tackle than the way you stand at the moment. And Trent said, I was just blown away. It was all positive. And he said, look, and thought, I get it. I completely. And he said, all the players love him. But isn't that eggs? Isn't that brilliant?
That's mad. That's mad. So when I sit down with my boss and we go over old shows, he goes, none of that was good. and
8 degrees anyway.
Yeah, 8 degrees anywhere is not changing anything.
Yeah.
Well, Simon, mate, bless you for doing the Movember campaign. It's such a wonderful idea. It's such a wonderful cause. And I look forward to tracking the progress of your facial hair over the coming weeks. And I shall see you up at Anfield on Saturday. Yes.
Yes, definitely. All right, mate. Good to see you.
Right, Simon Rimmer, ladies and gentlemen.
Radio X.